Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mngoni Mkonto. Today, I want to talk about the difference between the EFF and the DA. The difference between let me first talk about the similarities. First, the EFF and the DA are two sides of the same coin. They are both dictatorship. So they are similar in that the EFF is a dictatorship government. The DA is a dictatorship government. So the difference is the people who are dictating. The the DA is dictated by capital. It means the DA, it's a dictatorship of capital. That is what we are currently on at the moment, and that is what is currently causing havoc among black people. That is what is causing poverty, and that is what we've been in since the Queen came to Africa. Since the white people came to this land, we've been subjected to capitalism, and capitalism has never worked in Africa uh, or anywhere in the world. It does not work for people. It's only a system that suppresses others for the sake of money. So the EFF is a dictatorship of the local slave. The dictatorship of the local slave controlled by the same master who was controlling the other side of the coin. The only the only thing which is gonna change if EFF comes to power is the faces of the dictators and the the method of dictating. But the dictatorship will not go away. People will still, there won't be democracy in South Africa. People will not be free to talk. You can see how the CIC reacts immediately. You really challenge him on real issues. When you challenge him on issues that touch his nerves, he immediately get angry and switch on to the small boy a mode, I call it. The small boy mode, because that's how he defend himself, not using intelligence, but using the small boy mode to dismiss the people who challenges his core thinking, uh, to say. So it's a dictator. The EFF will build, the purpose of the EFF is to build the middle class and build and dictate the middle class. They want to, basically, they want to build a working class. If I say middle class, I'm maybe a bit mistaken. They want to create a working class which will be under dictatorship, uh, like what is happening in China. It's a working class under dictatorship. You are not free to talk. If you talk in China, you can disappear. If you make YouTube videos like this and you talk, people can just come and kidnap you and you disappear, you are gone. So you have to align to what the state wants, or else you find yourself somewhere else. So I think if we go for EFF, it's going to be a worse kind of dictatorship than what we currently having. It's going to be that kind of dictatorship uh, where you can't talk, uh, you can't you can't stand against what the government is saying. You can't have an opposing view about what is happening in the state, because immediately you will have challenges. Yeah. The dictatorship of the capital, or the dictatorship of the middle class, uh, created working class, it's actually the same thing. These two parties will not bring South Africa to freedom. These two parties are both going to bring South Africa to bondage like we are at the moment. The people who controls them are the same. The reason they want to change their strategy from the other side of the coin of the DA to the other side of the coin of the EFF is to buy time to continue to enslave black people. Because when the EFF takes over government, uh, it will be in government for maybe about close to 30 years before anyone can think of toppling them. So by then, they will be having another plan on what to do. The fact that we need to vote every 5 years and remove the president shows you that this system of democracy is not meant to create stability in the country. Can you imagine if the father had to be voted out every 5 years and a new father comes into the home? What would you really have a home, or it would just be a chaos? So it's actually the same thing. This is, we take it, it's a home on a higher level. But you have to vote the father out every 5 years. It does not make sense. That does not create stability. That's why when you go to municipalities, the municipal manager and the director post are temporary positions. The reason they are temporary positions, it's because after 5 years, other politicians are coming in, and so that there's no stability in those positions. Uh, they make it non-permanent, so that if you don't wanna listen to what they want, the consequences are you're going to be removed. That is the only reason they make them not permanent position. Because if they make it permanent positions, the people will make decisions not based on whether I'm going to be removed or I'm going to stay. No, they will make decisions on the interest of the people that they are saving, because they are stable. As a father, you make decision in the interest uh, of your children. But if you were going to be toppled in 5 years, if you were going to be removed in 5 years, I don't think you would be planning to the best interest of your children. You will be planning the future. After 5 years, where will I be? And it's actually best to plan that way. You will be planning what will happen to me after 5 years, and which is very important. So they make those posts like that so that you are always worried that what will happen to me after 5 years, and you are bind, you are basically tied. Your hands are tied in making decisions because you are afraid if I make one decision that the politicians are not going to agree with, I'm going to be removed in the next 5 years. I won't be having this job anymore. So people are afraid. So that is why it's a form of dictatorship. That kind of setting is for creating instability in government, so that those who are stealing can continue to steal easily because the government is not stable. That's how they steal. They create instability and take for free. So if you have to change the president, I mean the way of governing, the way we were governing in South Africa, it was the kings were governing in South Africa. The kingdoms were governing in South Africa. So there was no instability. There was no voting in our leadership because you were born into a position of leadership. So when you are born into a position of leadership, first, you won't be in a hurry to get into the leadership. Secondly, when you are in the leadership position, you won't be afraid that anyone will ever topple you. So that creates stability, and that's what helped our grandfathers to build bigger homes, massive homes, because of creating that stability. So the EFF and the DA are two sides of the same coin. They are both dictatorship. The other dictatorship by capital, the other dictatorship by the middle class, or the middle class mafia in conjunction with capital, because it's dictatorship. It's not like the dictatorship of the EFF works alone. No, it goes together with the master. But uh, the EFF will be creating a buffer between the master and the slave. So the middleman is the EFF there, so that people don't, whenever you try to rise uh, anywhere, the CIC can get into his mode, and into his defense mode, which is the small boy mode. He can get into that small boy mode and throw you out of the party. I had they fired. He said 1,000 members from Limpopo were fired. Why do you fire so many members? Why would you, like, firing members should be the last, should be very difficult for organization, because it's like chasing away clients uh, by a business. It's very difficult for a business to chase away clients. So firing people in an organization is like chasing away clients, because people are your clients. You are a big boy like this, a big man like this, because there are people who are following you. You feel like a big man like that because there are people who are following you. And you feel other people are small boys because you have people who are following you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not take too much of your time. Thank you for listening and please subscribe.